My name's David Jien, and I make things, and it's hard. But so I do lots of things. I make drawings. I paint. I do printmaking stuff. But I also do like illustration work as well. And I teach printmaking at my school. And I graduated from the Art Center College in 2009 with a degree in illustration. And so yeah, that's just like a little background. But I remember drawing as like, probably like since I was 5, I was just always drawing and just really enjoyed it. And my parents were very supportive of my efforts. And so I just always thought that was, it was a way for me to get out, some of, I had ADD, so it was like the one thing I could focus on, And so, yeah. And then I stopped drawing after so I drew for like when I was little, and then in high school I just stopped. It just wasn't cracking anymore for me. I wasn't interested. But then in high school, I was introduced to this thing called graffiti, right? And I was like, man, this is cool, Like I like this a lot. And so I met some graffiti guys at my school, at my high school, and then just started getting that. And I started designing again, and got back into drawing because of that. And so let me see here. Oh, here. So this is a piece I did maybe 3-4 years in. I was completely obsessed. I wanted to. I didn't want to work. I just like someone had asked me like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And I remember saying, oh, I just want to go all city in bombing, which is like illegal, painting your name across the whole city illegally. And in retrospect, it's kind of stupid, but so I started doing graffiti, and I collaborated with some other artists. But this is a wall I painted in West LA, and this is a wall I painted in Pomona. So from here, I was like, I wasn't even thinking about it in terms of like composition or color schematics at this time. It was just like, it was just happening like naturally. Like I was just trying to advance whatever I had. I would take like a base letter. I had a name, I write lifer, and I would just try to just add on to it and like evolve it. But like at the same time, I was starting to develop a sort of a visual language in doing so. And this was in San Francisco, and this is in South Central. And yeah, okay, so after I painted for about 10 years, and then on the 11th year, I got arrested for painting graffiti. I was on a billboard, and I had to go to county jail for 3 months. First time offense. And it was a $5,000 or more damage, so it was a felony. And so I got locked up, and I had a lot of time to think. And I was like getting older. I was like 24 already. I was like, oh my God, man, I'm like 24 already. I'm like still painting graffiti. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so after 3 months, they let me go, and then I got busted again. Like I violated my probation in 6 months, and I had to do like another 2 months. And then and they gave me 2,000 hours community service, right? And that took 2 years to finish, because I was like working, and then like on my days off, I'd go do community service, and I had to like dig holes and stuff. And it was to put trees in it. I was like, oh man, this is really bad. Like I don't think I could go back to jail at this point, So I had a family friend, and he was like, Dave, you should try to, maybe like, you're creative. Why don't you try to go to like art school or something and learn how to draw and stuff? And I was like, okay, I guess, because, I'm not good at math or anything, science. I mean, I like science, but like, I was like, okay, let me try this. So I enrolled into a city college, Santa Monica City College, and I took like probably like what you guys are doing now, just like took a bunch of drawing classes, like comp and painting classes. You guys are lucky because you guys have like sculpture stuff here, which we didn't have, and like printmaking stuff, which is awesome. And so I built like a small portfolio, and I submitted it to Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. And yeah, and I was really blessed because like I got accepted. And but when I got in, like there were all these students that already knew how to draw really well, And I knew like graffiti stuff, like letters, but like I didn't know how to draw like human body or anything. Like my figures were always looked like they were melting, and like it was really bad. And I was like, you know what, like I don't know. At some point, like I was so frustrated, that like I was like, you know what, I don't care how long it takes. I'm just gonna like bust ass until like I figure this like art thing out, And like I'm paying like $100,000 to come here, so like I'm gonna try to figure this out by all means. And so took all the all the foundation classes, and did the painting illustration classes. And I remember we had to do, they gave you assignments to do and stuff, and they were fun, but I didn't feel like it wasn't original, like it wasn't authentic. You know what I mean? Like, and I wanted to find out what my, I guess my voice was, and so what I did was I went back to, after painting and oil painting and acrylics and all that, I went back to just drawing, and just with a pencil and paper. And I took a term off, and I just started just drawing, and I started doing like just line drawings like this, just contours. And then from there, I started doing contours with like shading. And this was an assignment I had for my third illustration class, and it was like the topic I think was like fear, and this is World War II, and in China, in Japan during the war, Japan would drop bombs on China, and in these bombs it'd be like fleas, like infested with like rats and fleas, and they would drop them in the little towns and stuff, and then to try to create disease, and plagues and stuff. So this is like an image of China, and from there I started learning how to draw in a more tonal way, and with value and edges, and so still pencil, still no color, just pencil and paper, but just trying to exhaust all the possibilities with that medium, and at the same time trying to find out what it was I wanted to do with my imagery. And so this is a portrait of my friend Leo, and as an alien. He has a big giant beard, and he had this alien mask for Halloween that he wore, that he showed me, and it was like really realistic. It was like molded to his face, and when he came out the house, it was at night, and I was like, oh my God, it looked like an alien with a beard, And I was like, that's weird. And so I remembered, I was like, I want to draw that, I drew that. And then I started doing these drawings where they involved like more of these landscape type drawings, where they're like a sort of like a metaverse. And I started incorporating type, because I've always had a really simple love for letter forms, and I think that stems from my graffiti background. But I didn't want it to look like graffiti because it wasn't graffiti. It was, you know, it wasn't on a wall, but it was on a piece of paper. It was small. These are really, this drawing is probably only like 12 by 14 inches. So I didn't want it to look like graffiti, but I wanted to still play with the forms. So this one, it says, this one actually says two things. It says, destined to rise, and then it says Alvaro Sanz on the top. And the Destined to Rise is, I'm from a graffiti crew called D2R, and that's kind of like one of the things it stands for. And so, yeah. And then, so I made this, and then this is my name, Lifer. So I made one for myself, and then I don't know. I just started making more and more. This says Snake. And just playing, just having fun, exploring, and I think I made about like 40 of them, 40 drawings, right? I spent about 4 weeks, made about 40 drawings, and I was just like cranking them out, and like I showed them some of my teachers and stuff, and I got a lot of, and my friends, and they thought, you know, they're like, yeah, this is cool, Dave, like this is original, like this is something that's like you know, you might be onto something. So I just kept at it, and from there I was able to create sort of like a universe. They didn't have any figures in it yet or anything, but it had like it started to take shape, and then this is a drawing of so I started at that point. I was like, how can I take that to the next level? I said, oh, I should and start incorporating some characters into the drawings, and you know, who lives in this world, you know, what do they, you know, what do they do, what do they eat, you know, how do they reproduce and stuff. And then so this is a house, and this house is called Galmar. I started putting names to things, trying to give identity to things, and so I created a story for this, and it's actually I think I read from a newspaper. It was a story about a lady who lived in this house, and she lived in the in the forest, but she kept all her windows and her doors open, and so like all the wildlife would just like go inside of her house, but she would still like sweep her house. Like she didn't like just let it go. She just like she would like you know, like catch rats from the pantry and then kick them out, but then they would come back in, and I was just like, whoa, this is so interesting, you know, how like this merge of nature and man, you know, and so I made some more of these. They started getting a little bit more intricate. The letter form started getting more intricate as I was developing them more and more so, and then started creating different type. This is in graffiti. There's like bubble letters, and then there's like straight letters, you know, and so this is like an interpretation of, I guess, of the bubble letter form. Yeah, so it's more round and more volumetric. And this was a big drawing. This was, so I started working larger. This was like, I think this was like 30 by 40 inches. And still very, very minimal color. Started using a little bit of pink, but still very minimal color. And at the same time, I was taking printmaking at the art center, and man, the printmaking, we had a great instructor there. His name was Tony Zapata, and I just learned so much from that man, and started really getting into printmaking. Doing this intaglio print, aqua tint. And then continuing the idea of, you know, who inhabits this world, who lives here, I started creating a cast of characters for the world. And this was probably my most ambitious drawing at the time. This probably took like a good month to finish, and I was working on it like 8 hours a day. And here's a close-up of it. And that dog, this are all different characters. And this dog right here there was this teacher at my school that I hated, and I turned her into a female dog. And yeah, but this was really fun because I was able to, in nature, there's so many textures. And I was like, you know, like the old masters, they were always, especially like the Flemish painters, like I was really into like Dutch painters and Flemish painters, Van Eyck and like Vermeer. And I just noticed that like there was like this machismo about like the way how like they wanted to like show off, like they would like paint like fruits behind glass, behind like something like, and then reflections. And it was so like, I was like, man, they were like, I'm like, they don't do that now. Like a lot of the contemporary artists, they don't do that anymore, you know? And like, so I wanted to kind of tap into that a little bit and try to really push, see how far I can get with like fur and like textures and reflections and core shadows and stuff like that. Technical stuff. This is a drawing my aunt. This is a drawing I did at that time. Recently, there was like a family tragedy, and my aunt had passed away. She'd committed suicide, and she was a Chinese, like a folk dancing instructor, and I remember when I was really little, I used to take her classes and stuff, and I'm really close with her family. But so when she passed, it was it was extremely hard on me and my family. But like. And I just remember I couldn't create art, you know, or anything for, you know, like 2 months, and I was just like, you know what, I felt like I have to draw something for her or something. So I made this drawing for in kind of like as a way to deal with it, to cope with it. Yeah. And there's some more drawings of characters you know, in the world. Oh, this is a pretty interesting drawing. So like, I was watching, you know, like there's you know, Power Rangers. Yeah, yes, Power Rangers. There's in Japan, there's a whole like culture where there's like these writers that would transform and stuff, and but what they would do is they would. I was watching a lot of these shows. Like I watched like things, like interesting things, whatever I found interesting. Like while I work, because it takes so long to draw, so I'm always like have like material. I always have things that are going on, like music or like TV on, everything. And so I was really into these sort of like Japanese live action superhero type shows. And I would watch them, and they would what they would do is they would flip, and then they would jump and they would flip in the air. And when they would land, they would be transformed, right? You wouldn't actually get to see like the transformation. And I was like, oh man, like I felt gypped, like how I want to see how like the actual, like the midway, you know, and then like, and so I drew like this little drawing is kind of like how I imagine they would look if they changed. So like they start there and they just kind of just turn like that, like little bit by little bit, you know? Is that weird? I don't know. I don't know. This is like back to the letter forms, and this is like a wild style version of in graffiti. There's a wild style, which is like you have your straight letters, and then you have like burners, and then you have like a kind of like a masterpiece level, and it was very complex. You can hardly read it anymore. There's lots of arrows and stuff, and so I wanted to take what I already had and see if I could make a very super complex version of it. And so this was my attempt at that. And this was a collaboration I did with my friend Leo Iguarte. He's also a painter. We were asked to do a show. I was in San Francisco, and I was staying with my girlfriend at the time. She lived in Oakland. And there was a gallery owner who called me and said, Dave, can you do a show? We need a... I said, yeah, sure. And he said, well, okay, well, we need the work in like 3 days. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do it, you know. And I was with my friend Leo. We were just kind of just hanging out. And I was like, Leo, do you want to be in a show? And he was like, okay. And I was like, so we made there's a collaboration drawing of like our experiences within the lab, like that we had like during the week. And so we went on a lot of adventures in Oakland, and we saw like a cop car that was on fire, and then we found a tent in the woods, and we like blazed it out in the tent, and then like yeah. So this is just, I don't know how this happened, but just yeah. So then in 2009, when you graduate, there's a graduation show. Do you guys have to do a graduation show here, like when for your AA or whatever? Okay, but when I graduated, I had to do like I keep forgetting, this is a community college, and then like this was my setup for the graduation show, and I made a table, and this is kind of how it looks. And so after I graduated, I didn't get a lot of work or anything. I didn't. It was a slow period it was a slow season, and I was just I was getting like little jobs here and there. I had a lot of time, and I just remember like I would meet with some teachers or like friends, and I'd ask them like, oh, like bummed out, like what do I, like what am I gonna do? And they were like, Dave, just like keep doing what you're doing, but you should really get into doing some color work, man, because that black and white stuff, it's cool, but like you need to push yourself. So I was like, okay, well, might as well. So I just went and bought a Prismacolor set, and just got to it. And this was my first color drawing. And I was looking at this time. I was looking at a lot of Persian miniature Mogul painting. I just love the detail and like the way they kind of they compose their pictures, and the way they organize their images was very interesting to me. It's kind of flat and so isometric, like a map. And then so I started making more of them, and at this time I did get a call from a gallery, and I did start showing some work in Santa Monica, and I have a good friend, Devin Strother, that you guys should check out. He shows at this gallery that I show at. It's called Richard Heller, and he does like a lot of collage stuff with his work, and it was super inspiring. So I started incorporating like found materials, and I found this box. There's a screen printing company, McLogan's on Main Street in LA, and I found in the back they had this box full of like holographic paper. It was like really shiny, like iridescent, and it was all dusty. And I was like, whoa, what's that? It's like, it caught my eye, like the corner of my eye. I was like, bling, and I was like, went there and I like looked through the box, and the guy gave me practically just gave me like a box of this like holographic sticker material stuff, and I started using it for the work. And then I started using like gold leaf. So this is like gold leafing, and just really playing with materials. And at the same time, I started developing so I had the world, I had my characters, and then from there I started to create like more of like a story, and I started writing down sort of events that took place in the world. And this piece is called Collector with Dog. Collector, Gold Objects and Dog. And this is 11 by 17. This piece is this white is the paper color. So this is all drawn in right here with color pencil. And then and this is like a war scene, epic war scene. I think I was trying to be as epic as possible with it at the time, but I don't think it could be more epic. But so these are there's the antagonist and the protagonist in the story, and the protagonists are the Who Riders. And so these are the Who Riders right here, and these are the lizard men, and these are the bad guys. and they're trying to get to this pregnant lady right here, because the baby that she holds has in the baby's nervous system, there's a key that can unlock great power that they seek. This is a close-up of the drawing. Some more close-ups. And this is these are all the lizard men. This piece is called Bad News Bat, and if you can see this bat, he's right here in this corner on the very top. There's a bat, and so they lose the fight. The Who Riders lose, so the bat goes and tells Decca. This is one of the characters in the story that they took the baby. So this piece is called Seeking the Sensible Simian, and he's one of the Who Riders. He's a monkey, and so Decca goes and she's gonna try to save the baby. And these egghead characters, they're kind of like, they're bad guys, but they're kind of dense. They're kind of stupid, and they're kind of they're like foot soldiers, you know. They're just I just keep making more and more of them, like an army. And so in this piece, they got the her name is Dahlia. They got Dahlia and they took the baby. It's a C-section, and Decca, the Who Rider, she's there, and she's witnessing, she's like seeing all this, but she needs to get to the kid. And this guy's kind of crazy. And then so there's in my world there's a guy, this character here, he's Ray, the prismatic blacksmith, and he's kind of symbolizes technology, and kind of like Vulcan in Greek mythology. And he also, like, do you know who Ray Kurzweil is? He's like, he did with the singularity and all that. Well, there's a guy right now, there's like a scientist, and he believes in like 20 years, humans and technology are going to merge, like computers and humans are going to merge, and that's going to be the singularity. And the scientist, his name is Ray Kurzweil, and it's super scary. Like, it frightens me every night. Like, I think about it, and like, I don't want that, you know. I don't want them to put a computer in my brain or anything. And so this is Ray, and this is kind of this is a figure, and he's here. He's blind, and he's seeking Ray to heal him or to create something for him, so you can see. And so, you know how earlier I was talking about, like, the lizard men, they need the baby to unleash like this great power, right? And so all the objects in my work, they're all pieces of this. When you put them together, they become like this monster. It's kind of like in the Bible, there's a story of Nebuchadnezzar, and he's a king, and in his dream, he dreamt of this giant monster being, and he had like I don't remember exactly, but he had like a bronze chest, and all his limbs were made out of like different metals, and his legs were made out of clay, and his feet were made out of stone. And I was like, wow, that's such a great image, you know. And so, like that, these objects, when put together, create this devastating sort of force. And so these are the limbs. If you can notice, that's like the left arm. Those are the two legs, and that's this is the right arm, two legs, and the left arm. But they don't have the baby that the Who Riders end up getting the baby. They have the baby right now, so they can't form it. And so, like, I was making these drawings, and like I was like it got so like crazy. Like I had deadlines, and like I was scrambling trying to like figure out the story. I wasn't like, I could not relax, and it was a lot of fun though. But like I couldn't relax, and I was like, one day I was like, I'm just gonna make a drawing that had nothing to do with the story, but just like a little break, you know. So this is like a little break drawing. It's colorful and it's fun. They're just relaxing. This was an illustration I did recently for the New York Times, and it was about and it's about like cataract surgery, and it talked about a patient and her experiences with it, and she had like a terrible experience with it. Like she felt like this pain that was like shooting to the back of her brain and all this, and so this was a picture I made for that, and so during the I gotta pay the bills too, so I gotta do some commercial work, and this is this piece is called Cubby Control, and this is kind of like a self-portrait right there, and he's a reoccurring character. There's a guy there's a character in my story that's making these drawings. These drawings are supposed to look like they were made at that time. You know, it's not of this time. And this guy, he's tied to a chain, because I feel like I'm a slave to this art game sometimes, and he's sort of researching for his next picture, but he's the one who's making all the drawings. And this piece is called Enter Formosa, and so they've retrieved the baby. The owl has the baby, and this is not like, there's other drawings too, so like it's kind of hard to connect everything. But they like escaped, and they're on like this little island right now, and the island is called Formosa, and that's where the baby's kind of gonna grow up, and he's gonna be kind of trained, and like. But the lizard men are going to be forever looking for the baby and try to tempt him to come back because they need him. And okay, so yeah, I think those are the images I have of that. And let me see here. Okay, so I'm going to go over a little bit about my process and how I go about creating a picture from start to finish. And so when I get an idea, I'll write things down in my sketchbook, and with them I'll like draw like little tiny thumbnails, real loose events in the story that I feel are pivotal or important, and so this is how they look in the beginning, and then from there I kind of develop it a little bit more and work at it, figure out the characters. And then from there, I draw on tracing paper, and I'll do lots of variations, and try to figure out like how I want them to look and stuff. And then I'll transfer them onto like a larger piece of tracing paper, and then they'll actually be traced on the back with graphite, and then. So there's graphite on the back of tracing paper, and then I'll trace those lines onto the actual piece of paper I'm going to work on. And so this is kind of like the actual piece of paper, and then so you can see like there's like faint lines right there, and that's all the lines have been transferred. And then from there I start coloring, and this is kind of like the finish of it. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, hopefully I'll. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully I was, yeah. Oh, yes.
How old are you now?
Oh, I just turned 32. Yeah. Yeah, I just turned 32. Still kind of a kid though, you know. Yeah. Oh, yes?
So I'm curious about the kind of museum box that you had for your exhibition. This was a while ago. This was the student exhibition, I think.
Yes.
When you graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So was that containing some of the narrative, like the stories,
Mm.
or were they just small drawings?
Yeah, I think at that time, the narrative was just starting to get trying to figure it out. But no, I don't think so. Those are just random little drawings. Still kind of part of the world, but there wasn't actually like the story wasn't there. The world existed, but the story hadn't been sort of established yet. Yeah. Yes. No, I don't know. Okay, so these drawings take like exceedingly long time to finish. Like this drawing took maybe like 3 or 4 weeks to finish, like almost like a month. So they're slow. They take a long time, and I think, in my mind, there's about 5 chapters, and so for my first show, I've completed chapter 1. So probably like 4 or 5 more chapters. Yeah. I'm working on the second one right now. Yes?
You said you were still in the graffiti group. Do you like actively draw graffiti still?
No, I'm retired. Yeah. Yeah, retired. Yeah. So I hang out with those guys though. They're fun, but I don't know what painting. Yeah.
Do you feel like growing up during the time of breakdance and through the 80s inspired your work to evolve into what it is now?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a lot of the characters, the cartoons, the colors, sort of like even like the way I have my poses of the characters are kind of rigid. It's kind of like, you know, when they break dance and stuff. Yeah, when they pop like, yeah. Did you have a question?
I wanted to know with the student graduation, you had like a box, but like what was inside of it?
Those were just various small drawings.
What influenced your decision to display them in a box?
Okay, so that's a good question. The reason why was because when we graduate, they give you like a limited wall space. And I just felt like I needed to show more. So I built something so that they didn't take up more wall space. Yeah. Yeah, and plus I was inspired to make the case because I went to the Modern Museum in San Francisco, like just that same term, and they had these beautiful photographs, and they had these cases for them, and the way they displayed them, I was like, wow, like I kind of want to make a case just so I could display my art like that, you know, like it looks really nice. So that's all. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah.
It was interesting to see how much planning goes into the drawings. I'm really glad you showed them.
Mm.
I don't know why I didn't suspect it, but do you think that kind of developing an idea in that process, the really loose ideas and refining it, did that come more from like your graffiti background or more from illustration in school or a combination of both?
I think the reason why there's so much planning behind the work is because they take so long to do. And that like, if I'm gonna invest 40 hours into something, I'm gonna like have everything, try to figure out everything beforehand.
Those big walls you showed at the beginning, the same kind of like detailed preparation before you did those?
Not as much, because yeah, I think I want to get to a stage where like I can work more spontaneous and like looser, but at this present state, because I've tried just like not planning and making a drawing, and like at some point I'll get stuck. I'll hit a corner or like a wall, and it's really hard to like work around that, like as far as like values and like design and the formal aspects, it's difficult for me if I don't have some sort of framework behind it. Yeah, I think it's really important. Yeah.
How many pieces of art are you gonna have like after?
It varies. The first body of work I made for the first sort of chapter, I had, I think, like 18 drawings. I had 18 drawings, and I'm gonna have a show sometime next year, and I think I'll have about 18 or 20 drawings as well, and I'm about halfway, two-thirds done with that show, and but I'm also for that show I'm also gonna do some sculpture stuff, so it's a little bit different, yeah. Yes.
I'm just curious, I used to get 18 or 20 different pieces of work. Without your narrative, would people really follow through your work to see what you're doing and understand what you're doing without the narrative?
If I don't have them together.
Like you just have the work on the wall,
Uh-huh.
and if the person didn't know you,
Uh-huh.
you explain step for step,
Uh-huh.
storyline, characters where people don't really know you and your history. I would think it'd be a little difficult for them to follow through.
I think so. I think it can. I mean, they kind of invent their own stories with my story. Like they make. I mean, I don't make the work for the other. It's for myself, and it's a way. This story is a way for me. It's like a vehicle for me to constantly be making things. So what people get from it varies all the time.
So it's open.
It's open, yeah. Yeah, they can interpret it for what they want, yeah. Yes?
I tend to think of illustration as text preceding images.
Mm-hmm.
It almost seems as if the pictures drive the story. Pictures are leading out.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's that's a good point. Well, the text isn't finished; it's being worked on as the pictures are being made. So it's hard because there's nothing like it's not. I mean, I have an overarching idea or thing I want to get across, but how the characters go about accomplishing these things, it changes, you know. So.
Almost as if the story eliminates the pictures. No, forget that.
Wait, what?
Almost as if the story is illuminated, the narrative is illuminated by the pictures.
The narrative is illuminated by the pictures. Yeah, I can kind of see like the images replace the actual text.
They're creating that story.
Yeah, I think they're in the forefront. The images are in the forefront. So whatever text or whatever is all secondary. I'm not a writer, you know. I'm just, yeah. Yes?
You seem to be influenced by myths, mythology by myths.
Oh, yes.
Do you try and bring like any moral play into your work? Like you say you have an overarching art. Are you developing your own mythology, or do you end goal?
Well, I read a lot of I study and research a lot of different mythology, you know, Greek, biblical, I love stories, and Homer, and so I think just my love for that just kind of it informs a lot of I reference a lot of that stuff in my own work, but I guess the morals. There's good and bad. Like there's an evil force, right? So I guess in a way, it has to, you know, kind of exist. There has to be some sort of a bar that I create. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.